I this is just going to send the blood pressure through the roof because, we've discussed this show after show after show. The reboots need to stop. These changes that they want to make, these things that they want to do. Hollywood, literally, I think they just think that they have no more ideas and just want to make a quick buck on the side. Hey, you want to make money? You could find new stories. But before we start, I just want to thank those who have stuck with us here on Man with the Show on QTCast TV. Thank you very much for subscribing and liking. Thank you for tuning in on Friday on both DLive and on YouTube for American Asylum. Thank you very much on there. Let me tell you, we have been discussing this day in, day out. Now they're going for the gut. Really. Princess Bride, they want to redo. Or reboot, redo, whatever the hell you want to call it. But let me tell you something. This has really, truly angered the fandom out there. Really, truly angered. I've read some stuff out of Mary Sue that it's just so ridiculous. Turning the main characters to gay. They want diversity. They want this. They want that. See, this is what I was talking about many times before. It is a small amount of group of people. Just a small. They're not fans. They're not true fans. And they just want to change everything up because basically they feel it's unfair. They tell us, we say that when we have problems on Google, YouTube, if it's unfair, go make it yourself. And that's what I tell them. If you don't like the Princess Bride and everything like that, go out and make it yourself. Make your own different version of a story on there. Because let me tell you, Princess Bride is one of the great movies. I love it. I love it how it was done. The characterization. Emilio Montoya, he is one of the best characters on there. I love that character. He goes, "You killed my father, prepare to die." And I love it. I even have the T-shirt still. There's a T-shirt where it's just a little hello badge, and it just says, like those little hello stickers you stick on when you go to conventions, and it just says, "Hello, my name is Emilio Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die." And I just love that. Even though now the shirt shrunk so much, I can't fit it more, but my wife wears it now these days. But the movie in itself, it's just timeless, and now you want to mess with it. How ridiculous it is. I was, reading some of the articles this weekend. The Mary Sue one was just, just totally. I just wanted to vomit. I literally want to vomit because of the ideas this writer had, because they just wanted to just change everything around to make it equal and diverse. When you say diversity, that means you want to ruin something. Because you don't understand what diversity is or how it is done. A movie of this nature, there are many different characters on there. Just because you don't see every color of the spectrum in a movie doesn't mean that there isn't diversity in the crowd. We went through this many years ago, and I discussed this on another episode, and I don't think I have it up online anymore. It was a time back on the Arsenio Hall show where I think it was the organization. It was one of the alphabet groups out there, and basically they came down to protest on his show live that basically he doesn't have any alphabet people on the show. And I tell you, Arsenio went into a tirade. He went into a tirade telling them, if you don't like the show, make your own. And that's true. Is make your own show. And there's a great line. I don't know if it's a week or two later, or a couple of episodes later. Harvey Fierstein came on, and he had said, in Hollywood, there are a lot of people that are not out of the closet. and they say they've been on this show, and you don't know who isn't on there. So don't complain, if you don't see it. And this is things that's been continuing on for years, and then you hearing all these, like I said. I mean, last week they said, "Oh, there's going to be a Battlestar a reboot," and then now they changed the reboot to sequel or spin-off series or whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, you're hearing Home Alone, Die Hard. It's the amount of movies, TV series that they just want to. The TV series alone should tell you don't touch them. A lot of them have not really worked out that well. You're not going to get a hit every time. I go back to, they say, what was it, one day at a time. Now, it was okay. I wouldn't call it great in the world. And, Netflix canceled it, understandably. That's Netflix itself, and someone else picked it up afterwards. But would I call it fully successful? No, it wasn't really. Because you want to know something? Go back and watch the original episodes. And you'll see the major difference on there of the old to a newer version. It's the same thing. It's like you can't do Jeffersons today. You can't do Archie Bunker today in today's atmosphere because you would offend a lot of people. If you do it in a realistic way, I mean, there is a way of doing it, but it wouldn't work out. It would not work out well because there'll be so many complaints. It's left and right. I mean, if you have someone like Roseanne who got kicked off her show, could you imagine if we have a new Archie Bunker? Even though they did that one and it wasn't that great. Because that was a different time. That was a different time. A lot of these shows were different time periods. Brady Bunch, Gilligan's Island, Father's Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver. All these shows were different back then. Different time period, different mentality and stuff like that. The shows that they want to try to push out and reboot and stuff like that is because they just want to make it either politically correct or they want to diversify it. And like I said before, when you hear the term diversify onto a TV series or a movie, they're going to ruin it. It's going to ruin it because basically they don't know what they're doing. When you're doing a movie or a TV series, and I bring this up every time, what is the best science fiction series out right now? The Expanse. A very good cast, a very diverse cast, works very well because it doesn't push those values. It is an actual science fiction show from a book and done properly. You can't just sit there and write a story and say, well, we're going to have a black person, an Asian, we're going to have a transgender person, all that, and then create the story. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way at all. A story is created from, what you want the story to be. From beginning, middle, and end. The whole line. There's the beginning of the story, there's the middle of the story, and there's the end of the story. And that, whether it's a TV series, whether it's a movie, this is what you have. Another great series, and it was very well done, Babylon 5. Babylon 5, a great series. You could see it in two places right now. You could see it on Amazon Prime. And another happy announcement for me this weekend, and I just found this out. There's an online. You can watch it online. There's a channel called Comet TV, which shows science fiction and horror. It's not 24 hours a day. It's mostly, about 10, 11 o'clock till about 1, 2 in the morning, and then the infomercials in between. But it shows that series on there, and it's a good channel also. You can watch it online, and if you happen to be, I'm a Fios customer, I just got it on Fios in the upper band, so basically it is in HD. But like I say, Babylon 5 was a great series, and it was wrapped around a 5-year period. J. Michael Straczynski wrote it, pretty much he mapped out 5 years. to the story. That's how you make a story. If you wanted to run X amount of years, or you wanted to extend the storyline, you have to map out what is going to be the storyline. What is going to be the extent of this storyline that's going to keep it going for years. And basically, you don't look at what type of characters you're going to put into the series on there. You create the series first, and then you go back and you put in what you can. Now, as far as actors, you hire who you want to hire that you think is going to be great for that role. It doesn't matter what color they are, what sexual preference are. If they're good for the role, then you hire them. And that's the problem these days. And this goes for the workforce also. They said, we have to have, a good balance of the workforce on there. Yeah, but the thing about it is, if you have two people fighting for the same job, one very experienced, the other one semi-experienced on there, when you interview them, you find that basically one has a great attitude, fantastic attitude. Sounds like he's going to work very well with people, and the other don't like his attitude. He's a very coxy attitude and stuff like that. Now, could you tell me what nationality they are, what race they are? No, you can't, because I just only described what they are. Because that's the way you hire somebody, is basically on that. Not to say, I got to hire this guy even though I don't like his attitude, but I got to hire because of what, affirmative action says. Now, I didn't say what color he was, but I had to hire him because of affirmative action. It doesn't mean he's black. It doesn't mean he's Asian. I had to hire him because of that. And that's the ridiculous thing. It doesn't matter what color they are. If they could do the job and do the job right, and I feel that they're going to be comfortable within the job and they're going to work well, that's who I'm going to hire. Do I want a nice mixture crowd? Yeah, of course. Anybody does. But you got to find the people to do it. And if you don't have the workforce to do it, and that's the other problem these days with the workforce. You're not going to get the diversity on there. And that's the same thing when you go back to the television and movie business. A lot of times when you are making a big blockbuster movie, you want a big name on there. You want something that's going to drag the people into the theaters, and that's what happens. You can't all the time have this person in movies or that. You want to get a name in there. But if you want to create a true movie and bring in someone that's not so experienced, a new name, that's possible too. That's why you have so many of these independent films, and that's why a lot of independent films did well and created a lot of big stars at one point, because there were independent films and people went out to make their own films. See, that's the difference. If you feel that you want to make a more diverse crowd and all that, go out and write your story. You'll find it's very hard to do. Because believe me, I've done it. I've tried to do it. It is not the easiest thing in the world. Can you imagine if you take a story like Princess Bride and you try to reboot it, change it around, how hard that it becomes? Because you're going to piss... Doesn't matter what you do, you're going to piss off some group, and it's going to be a large group of people. So, what I got to say is, to those who have the rights and they want to make it, leave it alone. Leave all the others alone. You want a big movie out there? Go to YouTube. Go online. Start looking at the scripts that fandom send you. They are out there. These knuckleheads in production of movie, they get tons of scripts. You know that. They get tons of Star Trek scripts. They get all these other fandom scripts. Go choose one, and give them a try. See what they can produce for you. You might be surprised at what you get. And I still direct this back. Remember Blair Witch Project, on how much it cost and how much it made. If you get someone as intelligent as that to create a great script like that and to create a great movie like that, you're going to make money. Guaranteed. All the time. Inside and out. You might have a couple failures. That's going to happen. We used to be, Hollywood used to be, they used to make some great movies. And constantly, day in, day out. You know when it started going to pot? Is when they were accusing people of being communists or this and that and the other thing. And, these guys, they had to go underground, and they were still writing some great stuff on there. And we didn't really recover. And it's happening again. It's happening again. And, we have the chance to make some great stuff, to enrich Hollywood once again. And I tell you, this is why Hollywood is, the new Hollywood is going to be outside California. Guaranteed. It's not going to be in California anymore. California is, unless California turns around soon, and I'm not talking about Hollywood only, I'm talking about the whole state itself. There are a lot of problems there. Hollywood is going to move outward. There's going to be a new Hollywood with a new group of people that know what they're doing. Some of them may not, but there's going to be a good amount that knows what they're doing, and they're going to create some great film. So comment below. Tell me how mad you are. I know I ranted here for a bit, for about 15 minutes on this, but tell me, really tell me. Does this make your blood boil when you hear shit like this? Really, truly make your blood boil. Well, it does me. And I'll tell you, we're not going to hear the last of stuff like this. There's a lot more that they're trying to push out. And there are some movies, in a way, and we'll discuss this soon, that, you might want to reboot. And we're talking old stuff. And that didn't do well, and you might want to do it. But that's for another tale in its own. Thank you for tuning in to Men with the Show on Cutacast TV. We'll see you on the next video. And if you don't like this, stay angry. Someone says, stay really angry about it.